good evening, and welcome to this special fairy tale edition of Riderpiece Theater. Me, Alistair Dayhawk, and tonight, me proud to present Kamen Rider Gacha episode 14, The Hotaro and the X-Rex. Oh, golly. As much as I have mixed feelings about this show, I have to say, I really do enjoy Hotaro getting beaten up, and now in this episode, he gets eaten. And I wish he could just stay in that red room, but he is the star of the show. He is the tribal chief, and the show wouldn't go on without him, unfortunately, so he doesn't stay eaten for long. So we start the episode, which yep, funny enough, Hotaro gets eaten by a giant T-Rex. And I'm like, yay, he gets eaten. But unfortunately, as we all know, he's not going to stay in that stomach for long. And we get into the next scene where we get a few hours ago, subtitle. Hotaro is decorating the restaurant. You see him decorating the Christmas tree, and Hopper One is enjoying enjoying the decorations. And this is where Mama-san and Kudo both arrive at the same time, and Hotaro was like, "Ah, crap!" So he just throws Hopper One into the box. And, Mama-san greets Kudo, and Kudo apologizes for barging in, knowing that it's closed. But Mama-san said, "No, it's cool. You're my son's friend. You're welcome anytime." And Kudo was like, "Oh, you're decorating the restaurant with Christmas stuff." And this is where Mama-san tells Kudo that here at the restaurant we host a Christmas party a week before Christmas week, so for the regulars. And Kudo was wondering why before, and Mama-san made sense. Like, well, the reason behind celebrating a Christmas party before Christmas is because she assumes that the regulars will be with friends and family during Christmas week, so it makes perfect sense. And this is where Hotaro comes in and tells Kudo, like, "Hey, I was thinking of inviting Renge and Sabimaru, and I'm also thinking of inviting you if you're interested." And of course, Kudo accepted the invitation. But obviously, you can tell that Kudo has a lot in her mind, and you can tell she came to the restaurant for a purpose. But it got interrupted because Mama-san tells her son that, "Hey, I'm gonna send you on an errand, and you can invite Kudo along if you want." And of course, poor Kudo, she's always dragged into things, and Kudo this time it's not reluctant, but she was like, "Yeah, sure." And so they both go to wherever they needed to go for the errand. And then we get to the next cutscene where we see a man at a lake saying "I'm sorry" to a picture. And you could it gave me the vibe that, hey, is he gonna do a sekapu or something? That's what's the vibe was going as, because you're like, there's a man there at a lake and takes a picture out. We don't know what the picture is. Tells it "I'm sorry," and you assume that maybe he's gonna walk into the lake. But then, it didn't happen, because he sees like a ball of light in the lake, and he was wondering, like, what the hell is that? And then what comes out? A giant red T-Rex, and decides to eat the man. Yep, the red T-Rex eats a man. So we move on to Kudo and Hotaro at a bridge. This is a scene where I found it to be so out of place, and I'll tell you why. So they go on a bridge, and this is where Kuro decides to open up to Hotaro, and just tells him that, hey, I feel responsible. Weird sister number one, who's being played by a 9-year-old, always comes and see me, and and she just retells her events. And that's why we see all the flashbacks. But here comes the weird part that I told you guys earlier, that it's so out of place, is that after those flashbacks, you see Kudo already at the stream while Hotaro was still on the bridge. I was like, wow, this is so out of place, because I assumed like they're both on the bridge still, or both of them are on the stream together. It wasn't the case, and I just found it to be so out of place. I don't know why the director decided to do that, but I don't know, that just came out so out of place. But anyways, you can tell now that Kudo is trusting, if she hasn't already, Hotaro, about her feelings about what happened. And of course, like everybody in Hotaro's shoes would say, it's not your fault, it's the weird sister's fault. You're not responsible for what happened with Sabimaru or what happened with the school. That's not on you, it's on them. And also, he mentions as well that, I apologize for not noticing that you were having problems. I wish, I should have been a better friend, but you know what? That's not gonna change. I will do better, and if you need someone to talk to, I'll be here to listen. And Kudo does the same for Hotaro. Um, yeah, so it's pretty much their relationship is becoming concrete, and they're putting trust in each other, and yeah, they're Kudo is opening up to him, which is good. And then, but before I move on, I have to say this to be fair to Hotaro. It's like, look, you were also shooken up, okay? You nearly died by the hands of your best friend, not Kajiki, but Sabimaru, your senpai, who was being mind controlled, and constantly being bombarded by people telling you that you suck as a Kamen Rider, you're unworthy. And this is where I keep telling Hotaro, if he was a weird person, like, hey, you need to have some self-respect, because you can't take bullets while at the same time being a shield for the chemis. You have to do both. Be a shield for the chemis and be a shield for yourself. He has his own issues, so I have to be fair to Hotaro at this point. I'm not like, this scene, I'll be like, no, dude, you had your own problems. Like, you had your own problems. So, anyways, moving on. So we hear a roar, and Hotaro and Kudo was like, what the hell was that? And they assumed that it could be a chemi, and so they reported to Minato Sensei, and confirms that this is a level 10 chemi. This is the X-Rex that eats people, so be careful. And this is where Hotaro gets his airhead moment, where he's asking, like, it eats people? Why does it eat people? It's a T-Rex. It has sharp teeth. It doesn't eat plants. It eats people. What do you expect? Oh, Hotaro, the gift that keeps on giving, I swear. That's why I want to see him more of getting beaten up to a bloody pulp. Oh, moments like that. Jesus. No wonder I can't stand you. I rather see you get beat up. Anyway, so they know what the chemi is, and all of a sudden this random girl comes out from the woods, and sees both Kudo and Hotaro and deems them her saviors. Air quotes. And then we get this next scene with Spanner. Apparently, he has his own boss because he's a man on a mission, and he is getting receiving orders from whoever he is and whoever is the boss of. Like, hey, we're interested in the Dread Driver and the copy cards. Can you please get them for me? And also keep an eye on Kudo. So we know that Spanner, aside from Minoru Sensei, answers to somebody else. So that somebody else has ordered Spanner from the beginning to keep an eye on Kudo. And also given new orders that, hey, we're interested in the Dread Driver and the copy cards. Can you please, capture them and give them to me? And so he leaves. And then we moved back to the lake. And the girl's name is Sawa, and she is looking for a dinosaur so she can take a picture and give it to her papa. And we get to discover that her papa writes articles about dinosaurs in the See and Believe magazine. It's similar to what Kaijiki has in his magazine. So both of them are similar but yet different magazines. This is where she also mentions that she loves her father because he is chasing his own dreams, and we get this cutscene with Hotaro, being all happy and giddy because it's relatable because his own father is apparently chasing his own dreams, so both of them can relate to each other. And then you hear again another war, but only this time it's on the other side of the lake. So all three of them go to the other side of the lake. And then we get to the next scene. I find it funny because Spanner discovers the Weird Sister's hideout, and he just casually opens the door and waltzes himself in like a true gentleman. He does not kick the door. He just opens the door and just goes inside. And the Weird Sister's all calm and collective. It's like, oh my, look what the dog dragon. So of course Spanner comes in and demands the items in question. And Weird Sister number 2, takes the opportunity to transform into Kamen Rider Dread and teaches her dog, because Weird Sister number 2 calls Spanner her dog, her puppy, and teaches him a lesson, while at the same time asking him to join her. And of course Spanner will not do that because it goes against his virtue, right? He says no, and in return, Weird Sister number 2 gives him a 0 and 2 beatdown. So he gets beaten up by Kamen Rider Dread twice. It would have been a tie if it wouldn't been for Minoru Sensei's interference, but if he hadn't interfered, then Tabimaru could have been dead, to be fair. But yeah, he is getting beat up to a bloody pulp by Dread. And this is where I believe Spanner will have to go to his boss and demands, like, hey, I'm getting beat up by Dread. Give me a power-up, please. From a guy who is supposed to be an S-tier alchemist, he is getting beat up rather easily and quickly. That's all I'm going to say. I'm like, Spanner, you're losing your value here, but if you keep continuing beating up Hotaro, then your stock will go up just a little bit. I'm just saying. So we get into the next scene. The kids have spotted the X-Rex. Sawa takes pictures. And this is where we get caught off from the first scene from the beginning of the episode. Hotaro changes and says Sawa, and this is where he gets eaten. And then Kudo and Sawa escapes, and this is where Sawa feels responsible for Hotaro being eaten by a giant T-Rex, and of course, and Kudo was like, "You're not responsible. It's okay. You're not responsible for what happened." And Sawa is concerned about Hotaro, like, he got eaten. Aren't you concerned? And Kudo was like, "Nah, he's the Kamen writer from the websites, from the website you guys read. He's cool. Don't worry about it." And he Kamen writer. He'll be okay. not not like that, of course, but yeah, he will be okay. Yeah, he's fine. Don't worry about it. So we go to the red room. This is why, because everything is in red. Because during the scenes between Hotaro and Papa Sawa, it doesn't look like a stomach. It looks like a red room, a set with red. It's just like, it's without the stomach acid or anything. It just looks like a regular red room. But anyways, Hotaro wakes up in this supposed dinosaur stomach, and he sees Sawa's papa and tells him that, hey, the T-Rex is seeing my memories. Apparently the X-Rex has the power to look inside people's memories. That's why he eats them. And then they get sent back and relives, Papa's time with Sawa. So the X-Rex takes them to one of Papa's memories, where Papa is with his daughter at the lake, hence the picture. And then we go back outside, and Sawa recalls her Papa getting scolded by his editor at some kind of restaurant. Which, by the way, the editor looks like Banjo Ryuga with white blonde hair. It's just like, does it look like Banjo to you? It looks eerily similar. Like, yeah, but he looks like Banjo Ryuga from Build, only with blonde long hair. And he is giving Asawa's dad the riot act, like, hey, you cannot do this articles, you have to do a rewrite. And Sawa's dad was like begging not to, and you know what, that's fine, I'll do a rewrite the article. And then you see Sawa herself just looking through the window, just with that shocking, disappointing look, and Papa just stares at her, and she just runs off. Now, this is another scene that's so weird, because like it the scene made it look like Sawa overheard the conversation between her father and his editor while outside staring at a restaurant window. It didn't make any sense to me, unless she saw him bowing down and crying and all that stuff, and okay, that makes sense. But to me, the scene made it sound like she overheard everything, from being outside and the window being closed, and just looking at both men just arguing with each other. That's why I was like, does she have super hearing or something? Anyways, I mean, that's another scene that has just caught me off guard. Anyways, so we get that, and and then here comes the weird sisters demanding where Hotaro is. And of course, Sawa hides behind Kudo. And Kudo doesn't say anything. She knows where he is at, but she will not tell him. Can you imagine if Kudo tells him, hey, well, you can find him in the belly of a T-Rex? And the sisters be like, what? That would have been so funny if Kudo just literally tells them, like, you can find him in the belly of a T-Rex, and the sisters be like, are you mocking us? A T-Rex? Aren't those extinct or something? That would have been cool, but it didn't happen. So we get back to the Red Room, aka the T-Rex's stomach, and Papa feels that, oh, I betrayed her, I destroyed her dreams, I was her hero, but I destroyed it all. And Hotaro was like, no, that's not true. She still loves you, even now. Like, we just met her. I just met her with my friend Kudo, and apparently she is trying to look for the T-Rex so she can take pictures of it so she can give it to you as a Christmas present. She still loves you. Oh, okay. And then, oh god, the most cringe. At least for me, in my opinion. After that was sorted out, we have Hotaro, and he talks to the T-Rex, and just discovers the truth. The reason behind the X-Rex eating people, it's its way of getting to know them, because the X-Rex has the power to go through people's memories and get to know them, according to Hotaro's reason. And Hotaro's like, you know what? You know, I know the truth. You want to get to know people, that's why you eat them. So guess what? I invite you into my memories. I want to get to know you. I want to be your best friend. So he does the Hotaro thing. So next time you hear me say the Hotaro thing, it's him saying, I want to be your friend. You know, lend me your strength. Let me get to know you. So he does the Hotaro thing, and the X-Rex accepts the invitation. He activates his powers, and he goes through Hotaro's memories. Up until the last memory, where we get to see Hotaro as a child holding Hopper 1. So apparently, Hopper 1 has met Hotaro before. And when he comes out of the flashback, Hotaro was like, wait a minute, what the hell was that memory? So again, I cannot help but to, again, go back to my two theories. There's a possibility that it could be Miraro Sensei, hence the memory wipe, or it could be that it's Kudo's father, that he could be Hotaro's father, and Kudo and Hotaro are half siblings. That's my two theories that I'm retelling to you guys again, because Kamen Rider is known to be very predictable at times, and I wish and hopefully the writers will pull a monkey wrench on that theory and just say, no. We planted the seeds for that, but I'm going to pull the rug underneath you and do a shocking twist. And be like, oh, that's great. Thank you. Because I need that. I'm sure people from the audience want that too. But it's just right now it's leading towards two people. Kudo's father could be also Hotaro's father, or it could be Miraro Sensei. Why? Because of the memory thing that he always does. Anyways, you get that shocking memory, and then X-Rex approves. He acknowledged his tribal chief, his Kamen Rider, that he opens a way out for both boys. And this is where Hotaro transforms into Super UFO X and leaves with Papa Sawa and his spinning thing, which is so goofy. And then we go back outside, with the girls, and again the sisters demand what the hell is the Kamen Rider Bride is at, And this is where Weird Sister number 2 takes out her sword and tries to attack Kudo. Um, of course, here comes Hotaro spinning his way to rescuing, air quotes, his half sister. And this is where Weird Sister number 3 takes her turn into becoming Kamen Rider Dread. And when she transforms, this is where you get the line of that form. So Hotaro is still afraid of Dread after everything that's happened, which is reasonable. So hopefully the writers can dig deep into Hotaro's fear of Dread. Hopefully, but I doubt it. And this is where Weird Sister number 3 demands the cards and, of course, the driver once again. And, of course, typical Hotaro doing the Hotaro thing. Like, look, you guys are bad people. You are hurting people, and you're hurting my chemis. So there's no way in hell I'm gonna fork over the driver and the chemi cards to the likes of you people. Or weird people. Hence the Weird Sisters. And then, as they were about to fight, here comes X-Rex and all of its glory. The Weird Sisters are in shock to see a T-Rex. And Hotaro is excited and just takes out the card and just like, hey, X-Rex, lend me your power. And this is where officially the X-Rex acknowledges his Kamen Rider. He acknowledges his tribal chief and gets into the card. And the last scene, we get to see Hotaro receiving a new form in the shape of Super Gacha Rex. And there's a picture of the form online, and again, it's getting wackier and bulkier as new forms are popping out. Again, I'm not knocking, the creativity, but it's I don't like it. Like, I'm not saying it's a mixed bag. That's all I'm gonna say. It's a mixed bag, And that's the end of the episode, guys. It's just, it was another okay episode. Hotaro gets eaten, and we get to discover that apparently he met Hopper 1 as a child, but it got erased, which leads me into the theory of it could be Minato Sensei, or it could be Kudo's dad to be the father. Spanner is constantly getting beaten, so his value is dropping. And the girls finally can be Dread. I'm not sure if the setbacks affect them, but it doesn't look like it for right now. And Sabimaru is recovering. Oh, and the important thing too is that we now know that Kudo trusts in Hotaro in terms of opening up and just talking to him. So that's the step forward. Other than that, that is it. That's pretty much the gist of it. Hopefully you like my kind of recap, because I've seen other people who review Kamen Rider and just reviews as a whole. They shorten it. They just give you guys a review, not a recap. Here, I like to do recaps and give you guys details on every single scene and how I felt and this and that. I do apologize for my videos being long, but it is what it is. I try my best to shorten it, but but hey, thank you so much for listening, and please let me know, did you like episode 14? Did you dislike it? And tell me about what you think of the new form. And like I mentioned earlier, it's meh. It's just, I don't know. It's just a mixed bag for me. And also let me know if I miss anything, because even though I have my notes in front of me, I tend to miss a couple of things. Please give a like if you like it, and please subscribe because it helps. And I'll see you all on the other side of oblivion. Johnny!